postseason record.
On the other side for UNA, it's Briley Dover, the shortstop, who is a .377 batting average, 9 homers, her 38 ribbies, 9th in the ASUN, preseason All-ASUN honoree. And with these numbers, she's definitely getting a postseason award too. And she's joined by the rest of her teammates, head coached by Ashley Cozart, and 28 wins and 10 in ASUN play. Laura Lee Wheeler, third-team All-ASUN honoree back in 2025. Last year, you see her on your screen there. Enters today on a 7-game hit streak. This is one of the best offenses in the ASUN. They've shown that too. These Lions are hungry for a dub today. Inside the circle, Missy, Kyra Aycock. What are your keys for her today?
Well, she really struggled this weekend, so she's looking to turn her game around. Out in the circle, you're going to see her throw in the upper 60s. She's got a rise, drop, screw, and change. And when she's effective, you're going to see a lot of ground ball outs.
Definitely will for Aycock. Struggled last weekend in game one. In game one against Texas A&M. Bounced back, though, in the finale. And she looks to have a strong outing here against the Lions. Deals today's first pitch. In there, called strike by Josie Harville behind home plate. And let's have a fun Tuesday, midweek softball.
Absolutely. Looking forward to working with you today, Jake.
That makes one of us. Given Hammonds leads things off, and she slices one into left. And coming on, Leilana Applin, the left fielder, makes the catch. And Hammonds begins her evening today 0 for 1. Applin joined by Taylor Malvin and Maddie George in the outfield. Cassie Reisner, Mackenzie Pickens up the middle. Ryan Starr, Percy Yamas on the corners, and Kennedy Bunker is behind the plate today for Ole Miss. First pitch strike to the player we highlighted to begin the broadcast today from Loretto, Tennessee, hitting .377 this season. Junior in her 3rd season with North Alabama. This is game 145 for her on the year. She chops it high to Cassie Reisner at shortstop. High throw from Reisner. Yamas couldn't make the catch at first base. And runners aboard for UNA. Kind of a tough play, Missy, right here, right?
Yeah, absolutely it was. And Cassie Reisner backed up a little bit on this. Ball plays her, but she just lets that sail. Kind of had to rush the throw because Briley Dover is no slouch when it comes to her speed on the base pass.
Yeah, now you got to look out for her, too, in this position at first. She's 13 for 17 in stolen bases this season. And first pitch swinging is Wheeler. Off the dirt, it's Ryan Starr. Her throw a little wide, but Percy Yamas makes the catch for out number 2, and that moves Dover up to second base. It's already 2 gone for the Lions. 28 and 11, 10 and 5 in ASUN play. Were swept by Eastern Kentucky last weekend. Their first series loss in ASUN play. 7-6 ball game. They were shut out in game 2, 5-0, and fell in the finale 6-5. As we get our first look at Bailey Rouse, the junior, hitting .315 this season. Double-digit homers. Coming in at 10 on the year. Tied career most for her. Coach Cozart was talking to us about that too. About how her and her coaching staff earlier this week, they looked at their home run numbers and they go, everybody's doubled.
Yeah, they really have increased their offensive output and across the board, and she was very pleased.
Pickens at second base, retires Rouse, and the Lions strand one in this first. Let's set Ole Miss's lineup when we come back in Oxford. Riley Tittle gets the nod today for UNA. Missy, what's in her arsenal?
Well, you're going to see her throw in the mid-60s, and Ashley Cozart just loves the fact that she's got such a presence and high energy out in the circle. But you're going to see her throw a curve, a screw, an off-speed, and a rise.
Offensively for Ole Miss, Percy Yamas in her last 10 games hitting .485 with 7 RBIs in that 3 spot for Ole Miss. And again, Maddie George, 1 home run away from tying Ole Miss's freshman single-season home runs record. You get your first look at Kennedy Bunker, today's catcher for the Rebels. She's been in that leadoff spot. I don't know how many catchers are leading off their offenses in the country, Missy, but she's probably one of about few, if not the only.
Right, and she's been doing a great job in that leadoff role. She took over from Taylor Malvin, who started the season and went most of the season in that leadoff spot.
Now Malvin in that 9 spot, kind of like a second leadoff hitter, I guess you could say, in that 9 hole.
Yeah, absolutely. But you're getting a little bit more variety here as far as power and on base from Kennedy Bunker from the left side of the plate.
3-0 pitch, and they're called strike. Not the first time that Riley Tittle has pitched against Ole Miss. Even though it's her first year at North Alabama, she was at UT Martin last year, started against the Rebels. That's ball 4 to Bunker. But Tittle threw an inning, allowed 3 runs, all earned in 3 hits, and struck out 1 batter. Just threw 25 pitches. She took the loss in that 12-0 run rule in this ballpark. So familiar face for Ole Miss here on this midweek.
Yeah, she knows what to expect out in the circle because, like you said, she faced them last year at UT Martin.
Mackenzie Pickens with the runner on first base, nobody down. Nearly hits her up and in. That was also just the 17th walk issued by Tittle this season in 40 2/3 innings. One and 1 to Pickens, true sophomore, and her second season with Ole Miss. Was on that Women's College World Series team last year. She had so much veteranship and leadership around her. That's a new role for her this season. 1 and 2. Is that a big jump for a sophomore? To be on a team historically goes further than any other team has in program history. Now all of a sudden the next year you got to lead a team when you weren't that leader last year.
Well, I think it just goes to show.
Popped up in foul grounds and basket catch for Merritt. Out number 1.
What a catch.
That's so hard to do.
That was like a 360 spin, and oh, look what I caught. But, you know, you have a few players from last year's team after losing so many to graduation and a few to transfer portal that it's a role that Mackenzie Pickens, I think, has embraced and has stepped up and done a great job, especially on the infield.
Here's another player in the same exact shoes. Percy Yamas.
Also a sophomore.
Also a sophomore. Top 100 player in the country by Softball America coming into 2026. Number 59 overall in the preseason per the outlet. There's so many good softball players in this country. Even if you're number 99, you're still considered one of the best.
Right. And Percy Yamas had a heck of a season last year.
Flies this out to left center, and the center fielder Hammonds ranges over, makes the catch as Bunker returns to first. And 2 away for Ole Miss in this first inning. And here comes Ole Miss's power. 13 homers, 1 away from Lauren Grill's 14. For the most hit by a freshman in Ole Miss history. George coming off a 4-for-11 weekend against Texas A&M. A true freshman that leads Ole Miss in RBIs, homers, slugging percentage, total bases, and walks.
She just sees the ball so well, and you know, just having a similar type of season that we saw from Percy Yamas last year. And you wonder if Percy Yamas had a little bit of an influence on that, knowing that they're both hitting from the left side. They both came in as freshmen, you know, and having just this stellar season.
And George is raking play hitting .424. She airs this out to right center field. Does it have enough? Right at the warning track, Hammonds makes the catch for out number 3. No score through the first frame in Oxford. Lions with the bats swim at Quebec. Ashley Cozart's in her 13th season with UNA, 17th overall as a head coach. 444 wins in 13 seasons at UNA, including 4 straight seasons with 30 or more wins. Helped UNA from their Division II to Division I transition, including, I should say back when they were in Division II in 2016, won the national championship, Missy. That's UNA's last national championship. 60-7 record, 30 wins in conference play.
Yeah, just an impressive resume. And, you know, in talking to her, they knew that out of all the sports transitioning into Division I, that softball was going to be one of the easier transitions because they had such a successful D2 program.
Sometimes that transition can be hard as Holly Merritt leads off the second inning, right? Because sometimes you you transition from D2 to D1, and there's a transition period. I mean, I know technically they call it that, but the results don't always show in the first couple of years. But with UNA, they never really went through that.
Yeah, no, they had the talent and the history to be able to make that jump successfully, and we've seen them and how successful that they've been. In fact, in talking to her today, she hasn't had a losing season since she's been coaching. That's very impressive.
Fouled off by Merritt. Yeah, you asked her the question, anything we can say to help promote the program? And she's like, I don't know, not really. She looked at Mike, the SID, and Mike said, you don't have a losing record at all. And she goes, really?
I love the humble mentality.
1-2's fouled off by Merritt. She's done a great job at North Alabama. Again, the last time these two teams met, they went into extra innings. It was a 2-1 UNA lead over Ole Miss 2 going into the 7th, and then Maddie George was clutch. Eventually scored Ole Miss's next 3 runs, or was responsible for. Now 2-2 for Aycock. There's the right fielder, freshman phenom. She'll definitely be on the SEC All-Freshman team. You could argue freshman of the year in the conference, but someone named Kendall Wells has like 32 home runs or something for Oklahoma, and, you know, I think that one's pretty much locked up.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think that solidifies it.
The appeal down to third base. Wiley Bowling says that Merritt did not go around. Yeah, you hit 30-something home runs. I think you're whatever player of the year, wherever you are.
Right? Yeah, we saw Oklahoma here a few weeks ago, and
backhand by Pickens up the middle, but tough throw as Holly Merritt reaches first base safely. Leadoff single in this second for UNA.
I was very impressed with Wells.
Yeah, and they had a massive series win against Texas last weekend. Now they move up to number 1. Carly Moreland steps in, today's DP for UNA. True freshman in her first season. This is start number 23 for her, game number 26. She's an Alabama native. Pretty decent numbers for her first year of college play. One of 8 freshmen on the roster. What qualities does a freshman have to be in the starting lineup, Missy?
Well, I think it can be such a big jump coming from high school and travel ball into, you know, Division I, especially with how fast the game is. And I think you just have to put in the work, you know, and earn your spot. And
oh, line drive to Yamas. She tagged Merritt, but Merritt got back in time.
What a fantastic play and heads-up play by Percy Yamas. And I think we're going to have a challenge here by Jamie Traxel and Ole Miss. I thought Percy Yamas got her on the dive back.
Barrett's a bit shaken up too at first base. She was slow to get up.
Yeah, she dove back on that sore shoulder. I think that might have had a little bit to do, yeah.
She's out by a mile.
Yep.
What a play by Llamas. But if you're Merritt at first, that's tough. A
Oh, it
screamer
is.
right to Llamas.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this is one of those things where you're just hung out to dry.
It's our first look at Hawkeye, and
But again, what a heads-up play by Percy Llamas.
tags applied there, and yeah, it's as blatant as day. That's why we have review.
That's right. Nothing better than the Hawkeye.
After review, the call on the field has been changed. The runner declared an out. That is 2 outs for the inning. Ole Miss will return their first out.
That's why Llamas, too, is one of the best first basemen in the country.
Well, that rally was quickly squelched by the great play of Percy Llamas.
We talk about her offense so much, I don't think we give her defense enough credit. Emma Kate Wright steps up for the first time today, hitting 7th in the Lions lineup. Just a tough break for UNA there. Not much anybody could really do. Oh, one pitch is blooped down the right field line, but twisting foul. Her teammates call her EK. It's based on the chants in the dugout. 30-year veteran with the Lions in game number 73 of her career. Florence, Alabama native. Went to Mars Hill Bible School. Chase is low and away for strike 3. Through an inning and a half, still no score between Ole Miss and North Alabama. What a year it was for Jamie Traxel and Ole Miss. Going on to Oklahoma City in the Women's College World Series for the first time in program history. They've gone to 5 straight NCAA tournaments, 2. As Cassie Reisner leads off and Riley Tittle throws low and away. Gosh, a magical run for last year's team. Going out to Arizona, they won the Tucson Regional. Faced Arkansas in enemy territory. They'd already faced Arkansas, too, to open up SEC play last year. It's Cassie Reisner with a laser into left. She continues to stay hot. Now, 12 for 23 in her last 7 games at the plate.
Yeah, she's really done a great job. She also had 2 home runs and 7 RBIs in the win against Memphis, and that streak has just continued. She's been so hot of late.
And she went on a tear, too, at Ole Miss's last 3 midweek. She was 6 for 10. And like you mentioned, that 7 RBI game against Memphis, single-game RBI record at Ole Miss.
Yeah, she's hitting .438 with 4 home runs and 11 RBIs over her last 10 games. That's pretty impressive.
I don't know. I think that's kind of mediocre.
Oh, okay.
It's amazing is what it is. It's just outlandish. She gives way to Rachel Connors. Connors takes low, 1-1. Connors with a home run in the last midweek for Ole Miss against Samford. And then homered in the finale against Texas A&M. So she's now started in 4 of the last 7 games for the Rebels. And she hits this high in the air to deep right center. Hammonds is back at the track, makes the catch. And Reisner's back to first. Second ball that's gone out to the warning track today for Ole Miss.
Yeah, Hammonds has been busy out there. She's had 3 fly ball outs, 2 very deep fly ball outs.
There you see Gibbon Hammonds in center field today, shielding the sun too. And sun will continue to be a factor for the next couple of innings for the outfielders. As Leilana Applin steps up, takes high and wide. An All-American down at the Division II level a season ago, Applin at Angelo State. She turns on this, but fouls it off. she's starting to get better. See SEC pitching a little better too. Applin coming off her best SEC series, 3 for 9 against the Aggies, and is on a season-long 5-game hit streak.
Well, Division II is no slouch. There are a lot of talented players that play in Division II, mainly because they had been overlooked at the D1 level. But, you know, it is a little bit of a jump when you come into Division I, especially if you're coming into SEC.
There's being baptized by fire, and then there's being baptized by the SEC.
That's exactly correct.
And being baptized by the SEC is somehow harder than being baptized by fire. So Applin fouls it off. It's still 1-2. One of 16 newcomers to this season, Applin. One of 2 from Division I. Emily Boyer from West Texas A&M. A lot of D1 transfers, though, from Ole Miss. Popped up by Applin. And the first baseman, Merritt, makes the catch. Good to see her back and moving after on that diving play. And the top half of the, or I should say, yeah, the top half of this inning, she was slow to get up, and you see her wrapped up with that shoulder. Good to see her back in this game. Now up comes Ryan Starr. She's been starting at third base in the last 14 games for Ole Miss. She's from Long Island, New York, and a batting average up to 192. She shows bunt. Nothing in 1.
Well, for Ryan, her defense outweighs her offense, and she's just such a presence over there at third base. There's not much that she can't do. Such a strong arm.
Roller up the middle, and a glove flip to second base. Madison flips to Dover for the 3rd out of this 2nd inning. Just 3 hits combined for both these teams so far. So sometimes you got to get knocked down a little bit just to, I don't know, put some perspective on the season and keep yourselves motivated.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, she said she was disappointed, and she's hoping that it's a turning point this game today, and that everybody needs to show up every game. And you know, you have to start clicking on all cylinders now. It's getting towards the end of the season, and that's what she wants to see. They've had bright spots in the circle, and then not so much offensively, and, you know, the same with the defense. So she is looking for all 3 aspects of the game to come together in this home stretch.
There you see the Lions. They outscored the rest of their ASUN opponents 82-34 going into that Eastern Kentucky series. 0-2 pitch to Jenna Madison, now 1-2. A UNA team picked 7th in the ASUN. And now they're 1 game back behind EKU and Central Arkansas in the ASUN Gold standings. So they've got some catching up to do. 1-2's popped up right by second base, and Cassie Reisner makes the catch. 1 down in this 3rd, and now the 9th spot hitter, Natalie Shaw, comes up. 273 hitter this season, Shaw. She's a senior in her 2nd season with UNA. Olive Branch, Mississippi native that we were told earlier this week. She's taken a liking to sports communications. She's an intern with the sports comm team, and she's in charge of creating game notes for us, for the media. And boy, she does such a tremendous job with the nuggets from the starting lineups and, you know, the series history. She did all this research. So thanks, Natalie. Because of you, I didn't have to work much this week. But she does a good job. I mean, especially with a lot of the stats and the trends too that everybody sometimes they don't put in their game notes. But, you know, kudos to Natalie Shaw. She's looking for a graduate assistantship. So if you're out there hiring,
we have her work.
We have her work right here. We showed it to you on TV, and she could put me down as a reference any day. These are solid game notes.
That's
it. Not a lot of mid-major softball
No.
programs have this solid game notes.
Yeah, and it, like you said, it makes our job that much easier.
Off the end of the bat to Pickens. She makes the play. Throw a little wild from the second baseman, but 2 away for UNA. And now we're back to the top of the order for North Alabama. I don't want to take any credit away, though, from Mike Ezekiel, their actual SID. He does a lot of the good work, too.
Yes.
I don't want his bosses thinking that he's pawning off all of his full-time work to the catcher on the softball team. I promise he was great to us, too.
Yeah, he was, and he actually spoke very highly of her and just what she does, but he was very helpful to us as well.
Given Hammonds takes low and away, 2-0.
Hammonds had that line shot to Leilani Applin in her first at bat in the first inning.
Quick call of time in the circle is Aycock.
Tie up those shoes.
Yeah, needed some time. Now she's ready to go after 2 outings against Texas A&M last week. Struggled in game 1, allowed 6 earned runs off 3 hits and walked 3 batters in the series opener. Did not record an out in her start. Followed that up a couple of days later in the finale with 2 innings of work, 7 hits in his start and 3 earned runs. Struck out 1 and walked 1. Three and 1. High chopper left side, and Reasoner, the second or shortstop, throws to Yamas. Out number 3. Aycock sees the minimum in this 3rd inning. Ole Miss gets the bats when we come back. It's 2022, but Kendall Wells, the biggest headline there. She is just a monster at the plate.
Very, very impressive. I was so glad to be able to see her when Oklahoma was here.
Yeah, she hit a couple in this ballpark. I mean, people are going to pay some big money to see her play.
Absolutely.
Taylor Malvin lays down a beautiful bunt down the first base line, and it spins foul.
Wow.
What a play by Shaw. Patiently waited.
What a heads-up play by Shaw. I mean, either way, if it stays fair, she's safe because there's no play on her. But to have the patience and to just let that ball roll foul, great job by Shaw.
And the communication, too, right, to call off Merritt, the first baseman. As Malvin bounces it to Dover at short, and a routine play for Dover and 1 away for Ole Miss in this 3rd inning. Softball next weekend. We'll have the big 3-game series between number 5 Texas and number 13 Georgia. Saturday's game is on SEC Network, Sundays on ESPN, and the series finale Monday night is back on the SEC Network. All games are also available on your ESPN app. Kennedy Bunker laces this into left center field, a base hit. And Bunker's on first base for a 2nd time today after her walk back in the 1st inning.
Yeah, first pitch swinging by Bunker, and she just takes that ball in the outer part of the plate. And you're right, lasers it, because Given Hammonds had to really get over there to cut that ball off to keep it from going to the wall.
Bunker's 5-game hit streak and 8-game on-base streak was snapped in the finale against Texas A&M. She's really starting to come along late in this season, or later, I should say, as Mackenzie Pickens takes strike 1. A lot of quick at-bats in this game. Maybe I should knock on wood for saying that, but I don't mean to jinx it, Missy. I'm just saying the approach for both these teams is attack early as Pickens launches this. Deep left center. Hammonds is at the wall, crashes into it, makes the catch. She's earning a Gold Glove tonight in center field.
Oh, I'm telling you, she had to go a long way in the gap to catch this ball. What a great play by Hammonds. She is really showing off out in center field tonight.
We say that, but she's just like, yeah, just another day at the office.
Yep. It's routine.
Checking the pitch comm. Knows what she's got to do next with 2 outs and 1 on first base. If you're Mackenzie Pickens, though, a lot more of the same. She hits the ball hard, continuously. Just the defense is always able to make a good play on her, and that can be so frustrating as a hitter.
Oh, absolutely. And those are going to fall. They will fall. It's just a matter of being patient and just keep putting the ball in play and doing your job at the plate.
Wild pitch by Riley Tittle. That moves up Kennedy Bunker up to second base. She flashes a smile after that, too, because she knows the adjustment she needs to make after a pitch like that. And the lefty hurls it and misses 3-0 to Llamas. There's Tittle. Pitched an inning last weekend against Eastern Kentucky in the 7-6 loss. Just threw 22 pitches in an inning. Ball 4 to Llamas, 2 on with 2 outs. This is the best chance for Ole Miss today.
Yeah, and really not what you wanted to if you're Riley Tittle, because you get burned by Maddie George in the previous outing that you had at home, and now you got to face her again. I'm not sure that that's who I'd want to be facing right now if I'm UNA.
Especially since for George, 10 of her 13 home runs this season are in non-conference play. And against these mid-major programs, she's hitting .424 in these games that aren't SEC.
And it doesn't get any easier because you saw Cassie Reasoner come up and lace one out to left field, her last at bat. So, you know, Riley Tittle has got to be really careful here.
One home run away from Ole Miss's freshman record of 14. George sits at 13. And a quick call of time. Whitney Hawkins, pitching coach for the Lions, comes out to have a chat with Tittle. Power hitter at the plate, Missy. You know what George can do. They've experienced it firsthand after the first meeting. What are you saying to your pitcher here?
Well, she's already gotten behind 2-0, so you really need to focus on finding the strike zone. And, you know, use all of the plate. Don't just try and leave too much of the ball on the plate, because Maddie George will make you pay. So you really have to be precise and hit your spots. You don't want to walk her and you don't want to give up the long ball.
Because like you said, it doesn't get any easier because Cassie Reasoner's on deck. Even if you walk George, you're facing someone who's potentially even hotter at the plate than George is.
Absolutely.
And the freshman looks locked in at the plate with ahead 2-0. As a pitcher, that'll make you exhale a little bit. And George hits this high, deep left center, right at the wall. It's gone! Her 14th homer this season ties Ole Miss's freshman single season homers record.
Ties my girl, Lauren Grill. What a moonshot. Really kind of questioned whether it had enough to go out, but she got all of that ball. And as I said, you got to be so careful. Here Brian Little gives up that long ball. Ole Miss is up 3-0.
Ties a record that was set when she was 6 months old in 2007.
Thanks for making me feel old.
Hey, I was young too in 07.
Oh, well, I was here coaching in 07.
3-0 Ole Miss after the 14th homer of the year by Maddie George. How good was Lauren Grill?
Lauren Grill was phenomenal. And she's in the Hall of Fame here at Ole Miss. She's an All-American, and she was just not only a phenomenal athlete, but just a great person as well.
Reesner finds the gap right center, all the way to the wall. She's being sent to second base as Wheeler throws it in. A 2-out rally for Ole Miss in this third, and Reesner's 2 for 2 tonight and 13 for 24 at the plate in her last 7 games.
Yeah, she has been on fire. This ball left over the plate, and Reesner gets all of it. A beautiful line drive to right center field.
A standing double, too, by Reesner with a career most 7 doubles in her career. And now Rachel Connors steps up with a deep fly to center, her first time up.
Yeah, I think we're going to have a pitching change, Jake.
Looks like that's the case. Ashley Cozart chats with our home plate umpire, Josie Harville. As Tittle again was 1 out away from getting out of this third, but then she walked Yamas and allowed the long ball to Maddie George and the double to Cassie Reesner. As Tittle's ready to come out of this game, they just haven't taken the ball from her yet. All right, there we go. The switch is officially being made. We'll tell you who's coming on for UNA when we come back. Kaylee Snyder coming into pitch. The sophomore from Signal Mountain, Tennessee. Her second outing of April. Pitched in the last midweek against Tennessee Tech. Those are her numbers this season. The ERA north of 6 in 28 and 2/3 innings. More walks this season than strikeouts. His appearance number 15-4. She's 5-2 in decisions this season. But she pitched an inning and 2/3 against Tennessee Tech last week in that win that UNA had in their previous midweek 4-3 win for the Lions. Here's Rachel Connors. First batter to see Kaylee Snyder. Again, you feel for Tittle, right? Just 1 out away from getting out of this third inning, and then walks can haunt you.
Absolutely. She threw great 2 solid innings, first and second innings, and then the wheels kind of fell off when she walked Percy Yamas.
And then allowed the 3-run home run to George, tying Ole Miss's freshman record for homers in a season, and then allowed the double to Reesner. Connors 0 for 1 today and takes strike 1. Sophomore in her second season at Ole Miss. Connors from Chandler, Arizona. It's her 15th start of the season tonight, game number 30 for her. Now 3-2.
That was a nice changeup by Kaylee Snyder.
Snyder in her second season with UNA. Outing number 29 for her. And she gets Connors swinging for strike 3. 1 up, 1 down. That's all Snyder needed as George, a historic 14th homer this season. One of just 2 freshmen in Ole Miss history to have 14 homers in a season. First time with multiple draftees in Ole Miss women's basketball history. Coach Yo's got that program rocking and rolling. Kyra Aycock deals a pitch low, ball 1 to Briley Dover to begin this 4th inning. Lions have some work to do, down 3-0 in the 4th. But all our best to Cody McMahon, still one of the best players, I think, to play in an Ole Miss uniform here. I know you got the Gillums and Maddie Scott and Shakira Austin, but man, you just see what Cody McMahon could do in person and you think she's just different.
Yeah, she did a really fantastic job. I went to the LSU game and very impressed. Just could do it all.
Tasha Lattimore, Coach Yo was saying too, she had the potential to be a first-round pick if she wanted to be, and taken early in the second round.
I think the girls are playing with two of my Bruins, too. I think Lauren Betts went to Washington, and Gabriela Jaquez went to Chicago.
Okay.
So, yeah.
2-2. It's got to be a cool dynamic because that league is small enough where you're probably going to be teammates with somebody who you probably really didn't like in college, but then you become professional teammates and you got to bury the hatchet.
Oh, absolutely. You got to work together, that's for sure.
2-2 to Dover. Called strike 3, low and away. And Aycock brings up Briley Dover. Second strikeout tonight for Aycock.
Yeah, what a pretty pitch on the outside part of the plate. Just freezes Dover.
Laura Lee Wheeler now steps up. 0 for 1 tonight, grounded out to third her first go around. Fooled there, 0-1. She's hitting .371 in her 2 seasons with UNA. Began her career at Wallace State Community College. It's located in Huntsville, Alabama.
It's almost like Wallace State is a feeder system
I was
for
going to bring that up after the
for
pitch.
UNA.
A handful of players from Wallace State who are on this UNA roster, including the Simon twins, both pitchers. And Coach Cozart even joked about that too. She said, yeah, we call them a lot for players. They love their JUCO kids. 0-2, and Wheeler stays alive. But it's working for him, dipping into the JUCO ranks. And
Absolutely.
I mean, the talented players are everywhere.
Oh, you look for that diamond in the rough, and just like we talked about some of the Division II players that Ole Miss has, you know, North Alabama is looking in the JUCO ranks, and they've found several really good junior college players.
And there are even some players on this UNA team from Mississippi JUCOs. Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College, Northeast Mississippi Community College. Inside.
I think it's important that, you know, you see that as a student athlete who attends junior colleges and maybe Division II, Division III, NAIA levels, that there still is an opportunity for you to play at the Division I level if you put in the work and you get the visibility. And, you know, programs like UNA who draw from junior colleges, so often nowadays you forget about those players because you're trying to get the talent out of high school.
Yeah. She's one of 5 players from Wallace State Community College to come to UNA. Soft liner into left, and it's caught by Applin. Now Wheeler's 0 for 2 today. 2 away for Kyra Aycock. Brings up Bailey Rouse. Grounded out to Mackenzie Pickens, her last time up. On a 10-game on-base streak, she's 6 for 28 in this span. And takes strike 1. Rouse, is also from Wallace State Community College. However, this is year 2 for her at UNA. She has 10 homers this season, tied her 10 that she had last year. 10 homers, sits 8th in the ASUN. She has 5 in conference play. That's tied for 2nd in league play. It's a power hitter at the plate. Good eye. 2-1. Ole Miss was able to score 3 runs with 2 outs last inning. Maybe North Alabama could do the same here with 2 outs in this 4th. 3-1 on the ground to Reasoner. And Aycock has retired 7 straight since the 2nd inning. Ole Miss has now played 3 of the top 5 teams in the country. Their strength of schedule is the 3rd hardest in the country, too. It's a gorgeous night for softball, and again, the first 4 SEC series for Ole Miss is just, I don't know who they upset at the SEC, but that's just been a grueling schedule for this Rebels team.
I know, right? Makes you wonder what next year's going to look like.
Well, might be more of the same. I don't know.
Yeah.
But welcome to the SEC. Leilana Applin, way out in front of it, 1-1. Popped out her last time up to the first baseman. But the SEC is just such an unforgiving league. If you're struggling, people are going to take advantage of it because they need the wins just as much, if not more, than you do.
Right. It was a rough weekend across the SEC. You had Oklahoma taking 2 out of 3 from Texas, and that last game, Texas won it in a walk-off home run. So,
Yeah.
And then Tennessee taking 3 from Kentucky and Alabama. I mean, it's just insane. And we've talked about it a lot. You have to bring your A game every time you step on the field in the SEC. And if you don't, then, you're going to get it handed to you in one way or another.
Ryan Starr bunts it, but she's called out. It did hit her when she was out of the box. So Starr is out. So Kaylee Snyder has recorded back-to-back outs to begin this 4th inning. And Jamie Traxel isn't sure she actually agrees with the call. I mean, you saw it.
It hit her in the chest, but I wonder if when she was running to first base, if it didn't go off of her back foot.
Yeah.
When she was out of the box.
Coach Traxel's not going to challenge. Look at this one more time.
You see it hits her right there.
But look, her foot was still in the box. I don't know. Just my POV.
Doesn't want to challenge. That's okay. That's a tough one.
Yeah.
It really is.
Taylor Malvin's at the plate, 0 for 1 today. Average down to 300 now. A veteran who went to the Women's College World Series with the Rebels last year. Was patient her first 2 years here at Ole Miss. Played behind some talented outfielders. Didn't enter the portal. Trusted the process, and now she's one of the most important players on this team.
She really worked hard. You're right. She put in the effort, did what it took to see her way into the lineup. And the first half of the season, we saw her in that leadoff spot, but she's so valuable in that number 9 hole for Jamie Traxel.
One hopper to Madison at second base, and she retires Malvin. First time tonight that Ole Miss has gone in order.
Ole Miss and everything else this weekend.
Yeah. Beautiful night for softball in the Mid-South. Ole Miss and North Alabama. Both teams were swept last weekend in conference play, looking to build some momentum going into their conference series this weekend. Kyra Aycock still inside the circle for Ole Miss. Faces Holly Merritt to begin this 5th inning.
Ole Miss has LSU this weekend, and North Alabama has Austin Peay at home.
Merritt check swing, maybe she should have went. 1-1. Well, we talked about the SEC being tough, but the ASUN is kind of chaotic this year too. Right now, North Alabama is 10-5. They have Central Arkansas and EKU ahead of them in their division at 10-4. This finds the gap into right. And Holly Merritt's 2 for 2 today with a single to start off this 5th inning. And number 10, Texas A&M and LSU play the second game of a big 3-game baseball series next Saturday night in Baton Rouge. We all know LSU needs a win desperately in baseball. Coverage begins at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, right here in the SEC Network and the ESPN app.
Yeah, how about Ole Miss sweeping LSU this weekend? What a great series for Ole Miss baseball.
Taylor made double play for Ole Miss here, and they get the twin killing. Reesner to Pickens to Yamas. Another momentum killer for the offense of UNA today.
Yeah, what a great play. Just routine, like you said. 6-4-3 double play for Ole Miss.
Just how that team practiced it from fall until now.
That's just something you don't have to think about. You just do it.
And McKate Wright pops this up, foul grounds, and Yamas doesn't have enough room. Quick update on Ole Miss baseball since there's no TV stream of that today down in Pearl. 4-0 lead on Southern Miss. There's a Tim Elko shirt on your right, Judd Udemark jersey on your left. Chop to Yamas, she steps on first base, and Kyra Aycock is rolling in this ball game against the Lions. Must-see TV, the NCAA Gymnastics Championships. Bottom half of the 5th inning in Oxford. Ole Miss with a 3-0 lead. Rebels back in that 3rd inning with 2 outs. Got a walk from Percy Yamas, and Maddie George hit a 3-run homer to go up 3-0. Something about Maddie George against these UNA Lions. Had a homer the last time these two teams met. Kennedy Bunker takes low. Then George, in extra innings, had an RBI double down the line in the 8th to put Ole Miss up 4-2 over in Florence. One and one to Bunker, who singled her last time up back in the 3rd inning. Actually got that 3-run inning started back in the 3rd. Kaylee Snyder came on in the 3rd inning. After George hit that home run and then Cassie Reesner had a double, Snyder got a strikeout against Rachel Connors to get UNA out of that 3rd, and then saw the minimum in the 4th. Bunker flies this down the left field line and foul.
Yeah, Snyder's actually done a really good job since she's come in.
Yeah, and
using that changeup to really keep the Ole Miss hitters off balance.
Yeah, I was just about to ask you what you were seeing from her. Keeping Bunker off balance. Throw down to first base. Strike 3. Snyder's retired 5 in a row now with 2 strikeouts.
Ashley Cozart must have seen something or recognized something when she put Kaylee Snyder in the game.
And again, nothing against Snyder, but I mean, you look at the other pitchers too that UNA has, the Simon twins, right? And also Olivia Wilkin in her 5th season, as Pickens just rolls this over to first base, and the throw sails down the right field line. Merritt missed the tag, and Pickens is safe. And Merritt asked the home plate umpire, Josie Harville, again saying, hey, did you not see this tag? Here's Merritt again. It looks like Merritt missed.
Well, if she did tag her, why throw the ball?
Yeah, that's
you
a
know,
good
so
point.
that just gives the umpire a reason to say, hey, look, you missed the tag, you're throwing the ball down, you're still trying to get her out.
Well, Pickens reaches on the error on Merritt. This is Ole Miss's most dangerous part of the order. Llamas at the plate, George on deck, Reasoner in the hole. Llamas with her walk in her last at bat. And thanks to that walk, now she's extended her on game base streak to 11 games. Down in the count, 0-2. George is on deck, tying Ole Miss's freshman single-season home runs record in her last at bat with 14. Oh, 2. A one-hopper to second base. Madison flips to second for one, and Llamas beats out the throw. So 2 away for Ole Miss, and Llamas is safe on the fielder's choice, and up comes Maddie George. This is what she did in her last at-bat, just a casual 14th home run, tying Lauren Grill's 14 homers that was set back in 2007 when Maddie George was just 6 months old.
Why do you have to keep bringing that up?
Because that's how long ago the record was set.
I know, but it just makes me feel old.
It's only because you coached Lauren.
Yeah, well. Oh, that is a long time, and you don't see records like that being kept for that long anymore.
Who would have thought when, Maddie George goes around, there's a late appeal down to first base, and Shane Jackson said George went around 1-1.
Well, okay.
1-1 with 2 outs. George kind of clenched her teeth together, knowing she was fooled on that off speed.
Yeah, again, just Kaylee Snyder pulling the string on these Ole Miss hitters, and they're way out in front. Need to try and make an adjustment.
Two and two.
You talk about these records, and you talk about Kendall Wells and what she's done at Oklahoma, and she's about to surpass, is it Jocelyn Allo's home run record? Mm-hmm. And it wasn't too long ago that Jocelyn Allo was hitting those over the fence at Oklahoma.
And George down the right field line, curling towards the wall, diving for it. Wheeler, the right fielder, and she comes up short.
That was a great effort by Wheeler.
Also, I want to build on your point. What are they feeding these kids these days?
I don't know.
Wells has 30 home runs as a freshman.
Yeah,
George now is 14. I mean,
when I had gone down to talk to Patty Gasso before the Oklahoma game, and I saw all the OU girls walk by, and I'm like, good God. I must be bench pressing like 500 pounds. I mean, you know, and that's one of the things that I think that separates, you know, these programs is just what the kids do outside of being on the field and working out in the weight room and getting themselves in shape. And, you know, because it's a long season. And, but it's also different with the bats and the balls nowadays, and that helps.
9th pitch of the at-bat coming up right here. George has fought off nearly everything from Snyder. The payoff pitch. And George hits this into center. Hammonds is back at the track. It's out of here. Maddie George records what no other freshman in Ole Miss history has done before. Her 15th homer.
Well, we knew it wasn't going to last. Maddie George, just so talented. The ball is down in the zone, and she's so strong and powerful. She just jacks that ball over the center field fence for her 15th home run of the season.
A new program, freshman single season record. Just eating North Alabama pitching alive. 5-0 Ole Miss.
Oh, watch out, Lexi Brady, your record is next.
Lexi Brady's is next. Lexi Brady just wanted to celebrate her birthday today. Now she's got Maddie George breathing down her neck, trying to break her record.
Yeah, Lexi Brady with 17 home runs last year. All-time single-season record. Maddie George just 2 away from tying that now.
Lexi Brady in the dugout, too, for Ole Miss this season. As Kaylee Snyder, the sophomore, just 2 innings of work. And again, something about Ole Miss and 2 outs tonight. Or I should say something about Ole Miss and Maddie George tonight in 2 outs. Because with 2 outs, George had the 3-run shot in the 3rd. And then in his 5th, with 2 outs, a 2-run shot.
I think you have to expand on that and say Maddie George and North Alabama, because she did the similar thing when they played North Alabama at North Alabama. Hits a home run there, wins the ball game with a double. I mean, she just has their number.
And that at bat was so impressive too. What was it, a 9-pitch at bat? She's adjusting to everything Snyder was giving her. I mean, kudos to Kaylee Snyder. She did everything she could against George.
Yeah.
She just, I mean, again, that just one small mistake and George capitalized.
Yep, and that's what good hitters do.
Yikes, look out. Reasoner tugs it foul. Jamie Traxel had to do a matrix move over at third base.
That was great. Shows her flexibility.
You know, we've harped so much on Maddie George. Cassie Reasoner has actually been even hotter at the plate than George. 2 for 2 tonight. She's 13 for 24 at the plate in her last 7 games. Chops it up the middle and add one more for Reasoner. 3 for 3 tonight and 14 hits in her last 7 games. She is ridiculous right now.
Yeah, just a pitch that's just right over the heart of the plate, and Cassie Reasoner takes advantage of it and drives it right back up the middle. Just out of the outstretched arm of Briley Dover. 3 for 3 on the night for Reasoner.
Reasoner's 4th 3-hit game that leads Ole Miss this season, too. Rachel Connors out in front of the off-speed pitch. Now Connors down to her last strike in this 5th inning. Ole Miss trying to snap a 3-game skid. They were swept last weekend against Texas A&M. North Alabama swept by Eastern Kentucky. And Connors goes down on all 3 pitches as Snyder records her 3rd strikeout tonight. A historic 5th inning for Ole Miss. Maddie George breaks a 19-year-old record that was set when she was just 6 months old. Her 15th homer this season. Passing Lauren Grill's 14 homers that she hit when she was a freshman. And you're taking a look at Destin Bryant. We have to acknowledge our camera crew today. 46 combined years of experience for these guys. There's Destin Bryant. You see Mike Grissom. As a bouncing ball from Jenna Madison to third base, Ryan Starr makes the play to lead off this 6th inning.
You always like that as a pitcher. One pitch, one out.
AI's out there somewhere too, camera crew down the first base line. Michael Gross down the third base line. Our A crew tonight.
Legendary.
Natalie Shaw takes strike one. Future SID, Natalie Shaw. Also a native Mississippian. From Olive Branch. That's as north as you can go in Mississippi before you enter Tennessee.
Yep, went to Marshall Academy. Very successful softball program in private school district.
Started her career at Mississippi Gulf Coast. About 5 hours south of Ole Miss, half hour from the Mississippi coast. What a beautiful area, Biloxi. Down on the coast.
Yeah, all except the water.
Yeah.
The beaches are beautiful. It's just the water looks dirty. But every time we've gone down there, we've had a blast.
Great place to begin your college career.
Absolutely.
Especially
good program down there.
Yeah. When she was at Marshall Academy, led the Patriots to a North half title in the state semis. Played in the state's all-star game too. From 0-2 to 3-2.
The great quality at bat by Natalie Shaw.
She does lead UNA this year with 25 walks. Routine fly ball out to right field. And Maddie George makes the catch for out number 2. And Kyra Acox retired 4 straight. Wednesday afternoon, our SEC Now Spring Football Show. We'll have updates from spring camps. They'll preview spring games and look at some of the best pro day performances. And they'll also break down the SEC draft eligible players who could hear their name called in Pittsburgh. Coverage begins at 1 Eastern, noon Central, right here on the SEC Network and your ESPN app. Given Hammond 0 for 2 today with 2 outs in this 6th inning. So far, Kyra Acock in the circle for Ole Miss has allowed just 3 hits. She's struck out 2 batters, and a key for her today, she's not walked 1. Walks were an issue for her Friday night against Texas A&M that eventually allowed just 6 earned runs in her outing. She showed great control today.
Yeah, she struggled this weekend, so it's nice to see her come out and be strong presence out in the circle. Oh, this is something that's going to build her confidence heading into this weekend.
Fair ball for Hammonds down the third base line. Trying to leg out a double, and she does. If that throw's not cut off by Cassie Reisner, Hammonds is probably thrown out.
Yes, I would agree. It was a great job by Leilana Applin to get on this ball and get it in quickly. And you're right, Jake. If Cassie Reisner doesn't cut that ball off, I think that they have an out at second base of Given Hammonds.
Hammonds' career best 4th double this year. Give her 7 now for her career.
And just the 4th hit for North Alabama tonight.
And 2 of them coming from Holly Merritt. And also one of them coming from this young woman, Briley Dover. Leads the Lions in average hits, runs, and tied for most doubles with 9. Having a career best year at the plate, on base to put up career best numbers with her .377 batting average coming into today. Also part of the preseason All-ASUN team too, along with left-handed pitcher Olivia Wilkin and Emily Simon is a right-handed pitcher. We've not seen either Simon or Wilkin tonight. Pitched a lot last weekend against EKU, so they probably deserve a day or 2 off.
Well, they got to get them ready for Austin Peay this weekend at home.
It's a massive series against Austin Peay. 8-7 in ASUN play, right behind North Alabama in the gold division standings. On the flip side, though, in the graphite division, you got Jacksonville and Stetson at 11-4, FGCU at 9-6. North Florida was picked to win the league in the ASUN, and they're 6-9 in ASUN play. North Alabama was picked to finish 7th, and they're right now 2nd in their division. Really exceeding expectations, this Lions team.
Okay, so I'm gonna quiz you here.
Okay.
Why did they break it down into gold division and graphite division?
Probably for geographic reasons.
Gotcha.
Yeah, gold division and the graphite division.
But everybody goes to the conference tournament. Kind of
Yeah.
like SEC.
Now that I don't know. And in the air, right center, Maddie George. She can do it defensively too with a couple of catches in this 6th. North Alabama strands 1. Home run game this season too. 5-0. Maddie George leads North Alabama. Emily Simon, the senior from Athens, Alabama, is in to pitch. Replaces Kaylee Snyder. Senior in her 2nd season at UNA. Began her career at Wallace State Community College with her twin sister, Katie. And Simon this season is coming back from injury. This is her 3rd appearance of the year. And talking to Coach Cozart about her, and she said, you know, better late than never. Shoulder injuries kept Emily Simon sidelined. She faces Leilana Applin and misses. Gosh, those shoulder injuries too, Missy, so tough to come back from because there's so much going on in the shoulder. And you got the labrum there, you got other tendons there, and rotator cuff, and sometimes it can take you a bit.
Yeah, absolutely. But Ashley Cozart, happy to have her back, and it's day by day. And so I think it's good to see her out there in the circle getting a few innings, or at least 1 inning today for North Alabama.
After outing, still has some pain, Coach was telling us, but able to still pitch in short spurts. And a heck of a pitcher, too. 2.18 ERA last year and 80 in a 3rd innings. She does walk Leilana Applin. And hey, the summer of '83 is our next SEC story. It premieres Wednesday at 8 Eastern, 7 Central on the SEC Network and your ESPN app. It chronicles one of the most exciting College World Series ever, highlighted by Texas's Roger Clemens and Calvin Schiraldi, Alabama's Dave Magadan, Arizona State's Barry Bonds, and Michigan's Barry Larkin. You can catch that Wednesday, 8 Eastern, 7 Central, right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. Taylor Roman pinch hitting for Ryan Starr in this 6th. After the leadoff walk issued by Simon, excuse me. And Roman takes strike 1. Yeah, how about that College World Series, huh? Roger Clemens, Barry Bonds, Barry Larkin.
Yeah.
I don't think those people actually knew what they were witnessing at that moment in time.
No, I mean, those were some phenomenal baseball players.
Yeah, whether they had some outside help or not, they were still pretty good.
That's for sure.
Some of them, not all of them.
Right.
We'll just leave it at that. Inside to Roman, who's 2 for 24 at the plate in her last 11 games with 13 strikeouts. Just hasn't been seeing it well. She got off to a good start in SEC play. In fact, was Ole Miss's best hitter through the first 2 series.
She found her way into the lineup and just was doing such a great job. Just kind of hit a rough patch, and Rachel Connors has come in and done some good work in her place.
Roman stays alive.
Taylor Roman had some big hits last season in postseason, and I'm sure head coach Jamie Traxel is looking for her to get back on track and to be able to use her in the lineup towards the end of the season and possibly postseason play.
Third baseman Rouse, diving catch for out number 1.
Rouse had to go a long way to try and catch that ball, but a great job just laying out, putting her hand over the ball in her glove to make sure it stays in there. What a great play by Rouse.
Now it's Taylor Malvin. 1 on and 1 down. And if you're Rouse too, you're kind of on an island over there. It's hit in no man's land. You know, Simons may or may not go after that too. Communication's a big thing there too, to not collide with your pitcher.
Communication is key.
Always. Malvin lays down the bunt, and the throw to first is dropped by Madison. Merritt flipped to the second baseman, covering first, and now Ole Miss has runners on first and second base.
It was actually a really nice play by Holly Merritt, but just throw couldn't be handled by Jenna Madison, and gives a little bit of a rally here for Ole Miss in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Gosh, that's now the second time that there was just a bad throw by Merritt, the first baseman. Remember, there was a bunt earlier in this game too, or a swinging bunt rather. She missed the tag on Pickens and sailed the throw in the right.
Yeah, but that wasn't really a bad throw by Merritt. That was a lack of catching the ball by Madison.
Yeah. The scoreboard gives Malvin the hit, and now it's officially in the book. So Malvin now 1 for 3 today. It gives way to Kennedy Bunker, who can send everybody home early with one swing of the bat. She has the capability to do so. She did it once against UNA earlier this year. She has 7 homers this season. 5th on Ole Miss in that category. Chops it over the head of Simon. Charging is Madison and can't get the transition cleanly out of her mitt. Bases are loaded for Ole Miss for Mackenzie Pickens.
That's a tough play for Jenna Madison. It's kind of a slow roller right over Simon's head in the pitching circle.
Multi-hit day now for Kennedy Bunker.
Yeah, and struggles to get the ball out of her glove. So just a tough play for Madison.
Just Bunker's 3rd multi-hit game this year. And Pickens steps up. Izzy Rediger comes into pinch run for Bunker at first base. So game-ending run is at first base. Pickens also has the capability of sending everybody home early with one swing of the bat. Had 8 homers last year. She has 7 this season. 0 for today. Reached on that error we were just talking about a moment ago back in the 5th. A 16-game homerless streak for Pickens. It's uncharacteristic for her. She's got a lot of pop.
Yeah, I was just gonna say she can hit the long ball with one swing. I mean, she's so powerful and got such quick hands. It's kind of surprising statistic.
Season-long drought, too, for Pickens. Fisted right side. Merritt comes home with it and gets the force out. That's textbook. Bases loaded, ground ball play by UNA.
Yeah, absolutely. You work on that constantly at practice. That was a great job by Merritt to be able to make that throw to Shaw.
Percy Yamas has scored twice today. Bounces it right side off the mid of Merritt, and Madison flips to first. Yamas is safe. Malvin is in, so is Rediger. Seven, 0 Ole Miss, and one more run ends it. What a chaotic play in the right of the infield.
I was just gonna say, goes off of Holly Merritt. Jenna Madison backs her up, but just too late to be able to get Percy Yamas at first base.
Maddie George on a historic night already. 15 homers, breaks Ole Miss's single-season freshman home runs record. She's never had a 3-home run game this year. Since official Yamas reaches on a fielding error by Merritt. That brings in 2. 2 down in the 6th. And George spoils it, 1-1. Pickens is at second base. She represents the run rule winning run. George now 3 homers in 2 meetings against North Alabama. Wow. Two and one. And George rips this into right to Wheeler, who makes the catch. Oh, you thought off the bat, maybe she did it again, but finally UNA gets her to retire. 7th inning, Ole Miss needs just 3 outs to shut out North Alabama and snap a 3-game skid. The Rebels tonight with 5 2-out RBIs. All 5 coming from Maddie George with her 2 homers on her history-making night. 14 and 15 homers now for George, breaking a 19-year-old Ole Miss record. 15 homers now, the most by an Ole Miss freshman in 1 season. Kyra Aycock back out inside the circle, looking for a complete game. This would be her 8th. Faces Wheeler to start off this 7th and is behind 1-0. 0 for 2 night for Wheeler. Liesl Osteen coming in for Ole Miss this inning to play defense. She's in center field. Tenley Grisham in to play left field for the Rebels. And Sydney Schiller in to play right. So a brand new outfield for Jamie Traxel. As you see Schiller, number 9. Schiller from Jordanton, Texas. Transferred from Texas Tech. Made it to the national championship game last year. In her first season at Ole Miss. Osteen coming by way of UCLA. And Tenley Grisham's been in Oxford what feels like forever. A veteran. In a good way, I say that, because not everybody's like that these days. Four-pitch walk from Aycock. It took till the 7th inning in the first batter for Aycock to issue her first free pass today. Bailey Rouse now steps up. chat with Ashley Cozart. She wanted to see competitive at-bats today. This really wasn't a result-based game for her and her staff. They wanted to see competitive at-bats. They wanted to see grit. They wanted to see this team fight.
As she had said that, she wanted it to be a turning point game. And, I think that she's seen a lot of good things, but just not the plate appearances that she would have hoped for.
And remember, the last time these two teams met, they went into extra innings. And maybe that was just one of those games where Ole Miss kind of sleptwalked their way all the way into Florence and got off the bus and just said, we'll figure it out.
It's just North Alabama.
Yeah.
But
And
this-
the Lions were like, Ole Miss,
Yeah,
let's go.
Oh, yeah, they have a lot of fight, and they're very competitive, and I think that you just have to give a lot of props to Kyra Aycock and just coming out and taking care of business early. She's really done a phenomenal job out in the circle, which is a confidence builder for her, or should be,
Yeah.
heading into this weekend at LSU. Because Ole Miss is going to need her, so she's got to be on her A game. And this is this is not unknown territory for her. She had a lot of success at Oklahoma State, and they're looking for her to get on track for the end of the year push and postseason push.
And you look at Ole Miss's record, 26-18, 2-13 in conference play. This team's still very much in the NCAA tournament picture.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, they have a lot of quality wins, and, which also helps. But, again, we talked about this weekend, and they hit the ball.
Yeah.
It was just a few mistakes here and there in the circle. They lose one game by 1 run, one game by 2 runs, and one game by 4 runs. And so, they're right there. They just need to fine-tune the pitching, and I think they're going to be fine.
Shot up the middle. Cassie Reisner behind the bag, throws to first, not in time. Tough play for the shortstop as Wheeler moves up to third base. It's the most base runners tonight that North Alabama has had on the base paths.
Yeah, just a tough chopper for Cassie Reisner to handle up the middle, and just, enough speed by Bailey Rouse hustling down the line that she's able to beat out the throw.
Rouse now in a 11-game on base streak with that single. Katie Davis comes into pinch run for Rouse at first base. Honestly, there really wasn't a ton of struggle for Aycock today up until this inning, and leadoff walks seem to always find a way around. There's your first look at Davis today.
Well, and that's one of her issues, is to limit walks, and she did a great job of it tonight. But in the 7th inning, she gives up her first walk, and now it could come around to bite her. Fortunately, Ole Miss has a 7-0 lead.
Holly Merritt's 2 for 2 today. But every time she's been on the base paths, Moreland, who bats behind her, has lined into a double play and then grounded into a double play. Merritt chops it right side. Pickens in shallow right, bobbles the softball. Wheeler comes in to score, and the Lions are on the board here in the top half of the 7th on Holly Merritt's RBI single. How about a 3 for 3 day for Merritt with a ribby?
Yeah, she's had Aycock's number today. Just a good job putting the ball in play, and both Yamas and Pickens go for that ball. Nobody's there to cover first base, but I don't know that they would have gotten her anyway. It's a good job of hitting by Merritt today.
Now it's Carly Moreland. Again, grounded into a double play, lined into a double play. 1-0 pitch inside.
But we could look at this as one of Ashley Cozart's items that she was hoping to see this today is this fight. And, you know, the UNA hasn't been very successful at the plate, but they haven't given up. And now they're stringing together some hits to be able to score some runs. And now you see Nancy Evans come out of the dugout to visit with Kyra Aycock.
Well, North Alabama has some pretty important series coming up against Austin Peay, and then at Central Arkansas, who's 10-4 in ASUN play. Austin Peay is right behind UNA in the ASUN Gold Division standings. And Port Bellarmine, everyone's been beating up on them. They're 3-12 in conference play. And then the ASUN tournament, which should be wild. I mean, mid-major tournaments are always wild, and they're so chaotic because it's everybody's last chance, the final chance to.
Yeah, you have to win the tournament to go to postseason, and so everybody's fighting and scrapping and doing whatever it takes to try and make that happen.
And these Lions, they have 9 seniors, a lot of returners from last year's team that finished 30-21 and 10-14 in ASUN play. They feel like they've got the depth and the talent to make a run this year. And Moreland is ahead 3-0. Again, Aycock had only allowed 4 hits coming into the 7th inning. And she walks Moreland. What are you seeing here, Missy? Is it just lack of focus, or?
No, I think she's just falling behind in the count, and then the pitches that UNA is getting, they're taking advantage of it. So I think we're going to see a pitching change here to try and close this out for Ole Miss.
Well, what was a gem for Aycock? There's 6 innings, scoreless, 6 innings, 4 hits allowed. Struck out 2 and walked 2, but those 2 walks were in this 7th. Lily Witten's coming in for Ole Miss. We'll tell you about Witten when we come back. Pitching coach for Ole Miss, Nancy Evans, calling for Lily Witten out of the bullpen. With bases loaded and nobody out for UNA, what type of look does Lily Witten give these hitters now for the Lions?
Well, Lily Witten is going to throw in the mid-60s. She's got a curve, a rise, a screw, a change, and a drop. And she's really been the save leader for Ole Miss. She's come in and done an amazing job of shutting down opponents. And Ole Miss looking for her to do that again right here.
Lily Witten replaced Kyra Aycock last Friday against Texas A&M. In the first inning, Aycock struggled with her control, and Witten came in, pitched all 7 innings, even though it was not a complete game. Gave up 7 hits, 4 earned runs, walked 7, struck out 2. Then in the finale, pitched an inning and walked 1 batter. Comes in a sticky situation. First pitch swinging. Pickens takes it to second herself, and they get the second out at first base. And UNA wants to review this.
I'm a little bit surprised that Mackenzie Pickens took that ball herself, because she had to go to the bag, tag, and then come back to throw, rather than tossing it off to Cassie Reasoner, who's coming across the bag to make the play.
Call the field or the runner is at the first base. That player is out on fourth out of that. Players under review.
And I think Jamie Traxel's arguing for Ole Miss that this can't be reviewable. Pickens steps on second, and it looks like Wright's there in time. That's close.
Yeah. And again, I think that if, you know, it's a great job by Mackenzie Pickens, but I think if she passes that ball off to Cassie Reasoner, her coming across the bag, that play isn't going to be as close as it is.
Oh, yeah, she's very safe. Do you know why Coach Traxel was also trying to argue something on her dugout too, or?
Not unless it was because she stepped on the white bag instead of stepping on the safety bag.
Actually, you know what? Yeah, I'm glad you noticed that.
So
I didn't see that at first.
you know, if that's what she's arguing, that's the only thing that I can see that the only reason I can see. Because Wright is clearly safe at first base.
Yeah. These are the reviewable plays. It's a long list of them. Shane Jackson with the announcement. All right. So run is in. It's now a 7-2 ball game. Merritt's at third. Moreland's retired at second base, and Wright is safe on the fielder's choice. So we're back to 1 out. So here's Jenna Madison. 0 for 2 today with a pop out and a ground out. North Alabama fighting till the end. You got to give it to them.
Hey, I like it.
They got a leadoff walk, back-to-back singles, then another walk. Kyra Aycock then replaced by Lily Witten. It ain't over till it's over. Catches the outer edge, 1-1. Madison chases upstairs, 1-2. Transfer from Alabama Birmingham, Madison. One of 4 transfers who joined the team in the offseason. Smart of Witten to go upstairs, but just a tad high.
Yeah, trying to get her to bite on that rise ball again, and this time Madison holds up.
See what Witten goes to here with the 2-2 count. Madison fouls it off.
That was a good job by Madison. Lily Witten pulls the string on that pitch, and Madison fights it off to see another pitch.
North Alabama dugouts, the loudest they've been all night. This time she makes contact with the pitch upstairs. Alabama native from Curry. Won a Class 4A state title at Curry High School. Staying in her home state of Alabama at UNA. Chases it outside for strike 3. And out number 2.
What a great curveball by Lily Witten, just on the outer half of the plate. And Madison can't catch up with it.
Now it's down to the Mississippi native for UNA, Natalie Shaw. And she's down in the count 0-1. Ground out and a fly out today to right. From Olive Branch, which is north of Ole Miss near the Mississippi-Tennessee border. She's in her second year at North Alabama. Witten again, still trying to locate high.
Yeah, worked that rise ball.
Shaw lays off. The appeal down to third base, and Wiley Bowling says that Shaw held up.
I never understood why they ask at third base when there's an umpire. They can have a better view out behind second.
You know what? If you're confused, then I'm definitely confused. Ooh, catches the edge.
There's that curveball from Witten again. Such a pretty pitch, just hitting that front corner of the plate.
Shaw down to her last strike. And a payoff coming up. Ole Miss trying to snap a 3-game skid. They were swept by Texas A&M last weekend. North Alabama swept by Eastern Kentucky last weekend. Payoff pitch. And the Mississippi kid keeps this game going. Bases reloaded for UNA for the top of the order and Given Hammonds.
Hammonds hit a double her last time at bat. Looking for her to come up big here.
It was her 4th double on the year. A new career best for her. And Witten calls time. She now has 39 hits this year, tying last year's total, which was her first year at UNA. Down the left field line and foul. Holly Merritt today got an RBI single in this 7th inning to score UNA's first run of the game in this inning. And the fielder's choice scored the Lions' 2nd run in this 7th. And now Hammonds is down to her last strike.
That was a big cut by Hammonds. Oh, her job has just got to be able to put the ball in play, force Ole Miss to play defense.
Hammonds does have a homer this year and 11 RBIs. More of a run scorer for UNA than a run producer. She scored 35 runs this year. That dugout's cheering for one more strike. The 0-2. Sometimes I feel like this is the hardest pitch in the game, the final strike.
Well, you never want to be the last out of the game.
They just continue to fight at the plate. I mean, Coach Cozart has to be thrilled with how the Lions are finishing this game.
Oh, absolutely. And that's one of the things that she talked about. She wants to see the fight in her team. She wants to see them compete. Make adjustments. That's what this game is all about.
Back up the middle, base hit. Merritt's in. Just one run comes across for the Lions, and it's 7-3 in the 7th with 2 outs.
What a great at bat by Given Hammonds. She just works the count, and here she gets a pitch that's a mistake pitch from Lily Witten and drives it right back up the middle for a single and scores a run.
And now the Lions' best hitter at the plate, Briley Dover. 1 for 3 tonight. She can tie this game, Missy, with one swing of the bat.
Oh, isn't it crazy? Here you're thinking that Ole Miss has this game in hand, and now you have the tying run at the plate.
She pops up. Right side. Is it playable for Llamas? Oh, she drops it. This game's not over. It can happen to the best of them.
Wow. Wow.
Dover has 9 homers this year, leads North Alabama, team leader in average and doubles as well.
Now, does Dover make the adjustment now that she has new life?
Look at the reaction from the Lions dugout. Wow. the loudest they've been tonight. Tying run at the plate in Oxford. 3-1. Wheeler's on deck. She started this 7th inning for UNA.
Well, and this is where Ole Miss has been struggling all season long, is just the walks. You know, you get behind and then you have to put something over the middle of the plate, and it's just tough. This is where they have to really fine-tune and hit those spots.
3 walks tonight for Ole Miss pitching, all in this 7th inning.
Yeah.
Walks can give an offense life, and the Lions have a lot of it. 3-1 pitch. Down the third base line, picked by Starr. She steps on third. Exhale. If you're an Ole Miss fan, the tying run comes to the plate in the 7th for UNA. And Ole Miss slams the door shut on the Lions as Maddie George, a history maker tonight, breaks a 19-year freshman record at Ole Miss, hitting her 15th home run this season, a record that was set when she was just 6 months old. Jack Robertson, the Phenom, directed it. Jim Holder produced it. 46 years of crew experience today, too. The best of the best in the SEC. Thanks so much for taking care of us. For Missy Dickerson, I'm Jake Kermata saying so long from Oxford. A dicey 7th inning, but Ole Miss gets it done 7-3. Have a great rest of your night, and we'll talk to you down the line from Oxford.